Yo guys, always good. Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. How you guys doing? Here today to preview, of course, Inter's match tomorrow, 6 p.m. UK kickoff time against Spezia away at Spezia, and we'll cover off any other news related to transfer market and other things related to the world of Inter. So yeah, let's get into the video, and you guys make sure you're leaving a thumbs up and subscribing. Let's get the channel to 3K. Come on, guys, I need your support. Let's do it. So as the title of the video, you can see there, 17 days of judgment ahead. This is what's awaiting Inzaghi and his boys. 17 days where Inter will have to play 5 games, and the season is on the line with these 5 games. It's a critical part of the season, and it's the part where Inter need to take advantage of these points that, you know, our arch rivals or our opponents at the moment are dropping, like Napoli, like Milan did last weekend. And we now have to take our destiny back in our control, and the best way to do that, of course, is to win, put 3 points on the table. Here are the 5 matches I'm talking about. Of course, tomorrow Spezia first, then we have Milan in the Coppa Italia. Don't forget about that one, guys. By the way, that one looks like it could be reaching all-time record levels of revenue from a Coppa Italia fixture. According to reports, it's already gone past the 4 million mark in terms of tickets sold. So, you know, there's a big fever for that derby in the city of Milan, and it's going to be a juicy one for sure. After that, Mourinho's coming back to San Siro again, hopefully again getting slapped up by us against Roma on the 24th of April. And then Bologna, the Bologna game has now finally been decided. We'll touch upon that in a minute about that decision. And then that 17 days ends with Udinese, which is never an easy game. You know, Udinisis, as I like to call them, the terrorists of Italian football. Away at Udinese on the 1st of May is where this kind of busy period ends for Inter. And then it starts to get to 1 game a week again. And going back to that Bologna game I was talking about, finally, I mean, we knew that it was going to be played on the 27th of April. It was announced a couple of weeks ago. You know, it was just getting tiring talking about that game. You know, when is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Is it ever going to happen? Now, it's 100% going to happen, because Inter, although they already knew it was going to be played on the 27th of April, they appealed the decision because they thought that, you know, Bologna broke the rules, which they did. You know, they submitted a team sheet to the referee, but they weren't able to actually turn up for the match because they had too many COVID cases. They were stopped by the regional health authority, and they didn't actually even turn up for the match. And Inter were just there, if you guys remember, doing a training session, doing a little match against each other on the pitch at the Lara Stadium. So, you know, Inter were well within our rights to, you know, appeal that decision and try to get the 3-0 win, which would have been given according to the rules anyway. But it looks like, you know, due to a variety of factors, you know, even the statement released regarding the decision that the game will be played and there's no punishment for Bologna, seems like it's more like a political decision, not to, you know, anger anyone, not to make everyone else angry about this. Because at the same time, Atalanta and Torino, Atalanta appealed the exact same decision, and they also have to replay that game on that same date against Torino. So fair enough. I was happy either way, you know, play it on the pitch, earn those 3 points, show everyone no one's got excuses, no one can cry. Although I was already imagining the tears of rival fans if this 3-0 win was given to us, you know, a tavolino, as they say in Italian. I would have just loved it, because I could already see on Twitter the Juventini, the Milanisti were already crying like, ooh. And yeah, even my boy Beppe Gigio Juve. So I went on his channel the other day, and it seemed like I went on the live stream moment just as he was talking about this decision, and he was like, "Oh, Inter trying to get the win off the pitch again rather than winning it on the pitch." You know, they're already like fearful of it. But yeah, winning on the pitch, no excuses now. Play Bologna. They've actually weirdly picked up form recently, so it's not as easy of a game as it could have been, even though their table positions pretty much, you know, decided. They're going to be somewhere mid-table. They're safe, not much to play for. But Mihailovic's illness once again, leukemia hitting him again, him being in hospital again, has kind of galvanized the team again. So it's not much of a guaranteed win anymore for sure. And as Milan found out, last week, is there can be a tough team. Now let's talk about tomorrow's game against Spezia, and there's a lot of interesting decisions by the looks of it that Inzaghi is going for. So let me share the screen with you guys, and as you can see, a lot of rotation from Inzaghi. Is quite surprising, to be honest. We've known him now not to be much of a rotational coach, or use a lot of his options off the bench, but he's doing it, and this is why I asked of him. I'm happy to see this. Maybe I wouldn't go as far as this predicted lineup from Sky Sport Italy have gone in for, but it looks like it could be Robin Gosens first start for Inter, which is good news. We know when we brought in Gosens is kind of a signing for next season, really. It was a surprise signing for me. I was very much surprised that we pulled off this signing. But as we know, he's come off from a very long injury layoff, quite a serious muscular injury. So he has been quite rightly slowly been inserted. Recently, I've been a little bit disappointed in terms of the minutes he's been getting, but at the same time, Perisic is playing so well, so Gosens just has to bide his time right now. But it looks like he could get his first start tomorrow, which I am happy about. Up front, once again, Tutu Correa, after the good showing against Hellas Verona, gets another start, and I'm happy about that. I think he showed in the Hellas Verona game. It wasn't a great game from him. I'm not saying he had a 7-8 out of 10 performance, but guys, tell me, like, the team not look so much better when Tuku was playing. And the thing with Correa, you always have to remember as well, guys, he is a risk player. He is a high risk player. He's gonna go for dribbles. He's gonna go for risky passes rather than simple passes. He's gonna go for things that you think like, oh, why didn't you just take the easy option? And probably 7 out of 10 times he's not gonna pull it off. But those 2 or 3 times out of 10 where it might come off, that's what Tuku Correa is there for. And he's the only really that type of player that we have in this team. So, give him some time within a match as well to get his performance going. But of course, all eyes are going to be on him, and all eyes are going to be on his partner, which looks like it could be Lautaro Martinez coming back after his suspension. Dzeko on the bench. Jeez, we hardly ever see that under Inzaghi. I mean, Dzeko is like one of the guaranteed names on the pitch, but I think it's the right decision, honestly. Dzeko Correa did perform pretty well against the Hellas Verona, but I think Dzeko, first of all, needs a rest, deserves a rest. And I think, Correa, Lautaro, or the Cola partnership, the famed Cola partnership that we haven't really got to see this whole season. We hyped it up so much in the summer, the Argentinian connection, all that kind of stuff. Apart from, grilling some meat on the grill, they haven't really managed to link up too much, apart from the Napoli match is the standout kind of performance from these two. And apart from that match, they haven't really managed to start matches together, I believe. I think it only started maybe the Venezia match, I think it was, or I think that might have been the last match that actually they started together. And then the Bologna match in the first part of the season, Correa got injured after like 10-15 minutes in that one. But yeah, Lautaro Correa, I'm looking forward to that. Martinez, we need his goals. He needs to lead us now to this late Scudetto charge for sure. Dzeko scored last week, so I'm expecting a goal from Lautaro. No excuses. He should be fully rested after being suspended last week. No excuse for Lautaro. At least put up a good performance. No excuses, because Dzeko's not there, so you can't tell me he's not playing well because of Dzeko if he doesn't play well. Darmian looks like he might get a start of Dumfries. That's another surprise one. Dumfries has pretty much nailed down that right wing back spot recently, quite rightly as well. But at the same time, Inzaghi does not need to make those mistakes he did earlier on in the season, last couple of months. As I said, I hope he has learned from that period, because we saw the starters really started to look drained in that period. Even Dumfries looked tired, at the end of February, March, beginning of March, because he was playing every single game. So it's good. And you can, if things don't work out with Darmian, you can always bring Dumfries on. It's not like Dumfries is out of the squad. And Matty Doms has always, come up with decent performances. He's always reliable. Maybe he doesn't give you a 7 out of 10, but he'll give you a 6.5 out of 10 most of the time. And he's smart with his movement. Obviously, he's not going to physically overpower anyone. But, it's Spezia. And this is what, people might be panicking seeing this heavily rotated lineup. But it is Spezia, guys. And I'll keep, disagreeing with people on here in terms of people saying that our subs are not good enough. They are good enough, guys. They are good enough. Vidal, Gagliardini, Vecino, Darmian, Gosens, all of these guys are good enough. It's just that in the period where we needed them, where the starters weren't playing well, they didn't really step up to the plate. But that's also because the whole team wasn't playing well. The whole team wasn't running efficiently. They weren't running well. The confidence was low. And the subs coming on, they of course were suffering from the exact same issues that everyone else. So I am still believing that, you know, whatever the substitutes we have are good enough to win the Serie A. The Serie A, guys, or Serie A. Like, you see the quality out there this season. All of these substitutes are good enough, as we saw last season already, that they are good enough to challenge and win this Scudetto. In midfield, the usual. This is where there hasn't been any rotation according to the predicted lineups, which is good. At the back, D'Ambrosio starting again because De Vrij has trained with the team yesterday, but he's still, you know, not 100% after he seemed like he got injured again in the last match against Hellas Verona, took off at half-time. Skriniar back in the middle, you know, my captain Skriniar. And Di Marco looks like he might get a start again ahead of Bastoni. And to be honest, guys, Di Marco is one of those guys where when he plays good, I feel like he doesn't get enough credit because, you know, he played well against Hellas Verona. I think he's one of my top 4 players in that match. And then when Bastoni came on, I felt Bastoni was actually shakier than what Di Marco was. And then, you know, last time he started before, you know, the Napoli match. Remember, the Napoli match, he came in against, you know, Osimhen and them boys there and performed really well in the back three. So I feel like Di Marco has been overly criticized a little bit. But of course, he, you know, when you see him in the starting lineup, it doesn't give you the full confidence that it should. But I think, you know, I'm happy with that lineup. I would probably put Bastoni back in. Just, I don't want to rotate too much. I would probably still start with Bastoni. But if Inzaghi, if that's what you think, you feel like you're going to dominate possession, you need Di Marco's ball playing ability, then I'm all for it. Quickly looking at Spezia's lineup, not too much to talk about, to be honest. Of course, we've got to watch out for ex-Inter player, ex-Inter youth player, Ray Manai, who's actually, you know, been decent this season. He's a goal threat. So definitely one to watch out for, the goal of the ex. You know, we always got to watch out for that. Bastoni, not our Bastoni, but Simone Bastoni. He's a decent player who's actually, you know, started off in defense, but he's moved into midfield this season. Giazzi, the guy who scored some late goals this season. Let's not forget the goal he scored in the dying seconds against Milan to kill them in that match. And recently scored another goal in the dying minutes. Can't remember who against it was. But yeah, apart from that, not too much to watch out for. Maggiore has been linked with Inter in the last couple of seasons, but, you know, he's an okay player. Verde has a nice left foot, but of course on the bench to watch out is, you know, our boy Thiago Motta, former Inter player, Inter legend. Hopefully he can do a favor for us. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, guys, what you make of this lineup. My match prediction is a 2-0 victory for Inter. I feel like we are going to continue keeping a clean sheet. And by the way, guys, we're back on top in terms of we are now the best defense in the league and the best attack in the league. And we are, well, we knew about the XG. We are we are first in the league in terms of expected goals, but we're also first in terms of the expected points. So like pretty much every stat now, we are the leaders of every single stat apart from the stat that matters, which is the table. So yeah, I'm hoping for a win tomorrow, 2-0 win. As I said, Lautaro to come back onto the score sheet, and a GOSENS goal. I think I'm predicting if he starts a debut GOSENS goal, because he is a big goal threat. GOSENS, let's not forget this guy, some of the numbers he's putting up for Atalanta, some crazy striker like numbers, so let's not forget about that. And of course, let's keep an eye out for the other teams, our competitors. Milan tomorrow, playing 8 o'clock against Genoa at home. This Genoa team that's fighting for their lives. Blessing, come on, let's put in a similar performance that you did against Inter, where they outran us, they outfought us, they won every single battle. That's what we need from Genoa, because they still can save themselves. I mean, it's going to be hard for them, but they still can do it, because Cagliari are not far away from them. One win can change everything for Genoa. And Milan are starting to feel the pressure, guys. If you saw Pioli's last press conference, not yesterday's or today's one, before that, he was like, oh, why are Inter always playing before us? Because that puts more pressure on us. It's an advantage for them. So you can see already they're starting to crap it a little bit. that Scudetto, that champion mentality isn't quite there. They're starting to feel the pressure. And of course, Napoli last week, they definitely felt the pressure when they lost at home to Fiorentina. And who are Napoli playing this weekend? They are playing Roma at home on Monday. So they've got, a few days to even feel even more pressure if both Inter and Milan win. So it's going to be an interesting weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As I said, guys, come on, we're almost at 3,000 subs. Spread the word. Let your friends know. If you're Interisti friends that don't know about the channel, let them know about it. Thumbs up before you leave. Make sure you leave a thumbs up. Leave your predictions down below. Who's gonna score? Who would you start? Who wouldn't you start? And yeah, ciao ragazzi. As always, see you for the post-match reaction. Forza Inter.